Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. We're back in the saddle for the NFL Week 2 reaction. Now, normally we're going to try to do is get this out on Sundays, but Tyson was hitting the course on the golfing side of things because, it's getting a little cold in Montana, and he doesn't have much more luxury of doing this now that the fall season's arriving.
It's tournament season, man. It's all the fun stuff right now. All the end of the year scrambles that demand excellent performance. So you got to lock in.
So what we're doing this year is we react to everything that's going on. We're going to talk about some of the biggest storylines that are coming out of Week 2. We're going to touch on some of the things that we're going to call leftovers for the rest of what happened as we recap Week 2. And Tyson, we got to start with this because this is the biggest storyline. Joe Burrow is injured again. I mean, this is something that's just an occurrence in Joe Burrow's career, and it's unfortunate. And this is a team that had high hopes coming in, finally had a healthy offseason, finally you get the T. Higgins thing figured out, you get the Jamar Chase thing figured out. Yes, there were some questions on the defensive side of things with not working out a contract with Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson and all that stuff. But you arrive in Week 1, and it felt like the Bengals were on track to get back to a Super Bowl trajectory after a couple seasons where they were disappointing. And now you lose your quarterback where he has a grade 3 turf toe injury, which is a torn ligament. He's got to get surgery, and it feels like, or at least he's going to be out until December, if not the whole season.
Yeah, and none of these things are related, these Joe Burrow injuries, like the wrist, the knee, the turf toe. He's going to miss more games in his career to this point than Tua, which I think is like a shocking number to hear maybe for people. And I'm sure they're floating around the internet. Like, this dude is new Andrew Luck, man. He gets hit and hit and hit and hit, and eventually you start wondering, how much more can a guy's body take if he's going to end up missing. This will put him somewhere around 27 to 30 games missed through this point in his career. That's a ton. And this is a guy that everyone loves and all that stuff. But at a certain point, like, you got to be on the field. And then, Brad, can the Bengals keep this thing afloat just enough so that when he comes back in December, we can have like our time-honored tradition now of like talking ourselves into the Bengals doing this?
Well, I don't think so, because I'm looking at the schedule as you said that. They go at Vikings next, and we'll get into the McCarthy thing. But then you go at Broncos, home against the Lions, at Packers, who look like a juggernaut. Then you host the Steelers, host the Jets. Like, not great teams, but I mean defenses who, if they can figure it out after a few weeks, that poses a threat against this offensive line. And then against the Bears team, again, defense looks terrible, but Dennis Allen's able to dial some stuff up. There are pieces there. Then you got to go to the Steelers. So, Tyson, that's the stretch of the next few games. With Burrow, you feel comfortable with it. With Browning, I know he looked good against the Jags and all this stuff, but that was coming off the bench. I mean, now teams are going to have opportunities to prepare for him with tape out there. This looks dire for the Bengals once again.
And was Burrow the most bet on preseason MVP?
I think he was.
That's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, what have their Super Bowl odds done since it? I mean, that's
crater.
It's chalked. It's cooked, and it's unfortunate. It's another year where we feel like we're squandering the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, and they hold on and win this one, so at least they're 2-0. But it just feels like it doesn't matter, right? I mean, Browning comes in 21 of 32. He's got the 3 picks, the 2 touch. It is tough, and he's moving the rock.
Do you look around the NFL for somebody else, or are you just rocking with Jake Browning? I feel like you rock with Jake. Dude, he's been in the system forever and all this stuff. But if it's bad, if it's 3 picks a week bad, are you calling on backups? Are you seeing about Tanner McKee?
You definitely rock with Jake Browning because he's been in the system, like you said, so he's comfortable with this thing. The 3 picks, we'll see going forward, but. Yeah, if he's going to throw 3 a week, you got to call somebody else. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think things are going to get a bit more conservative, things like that. But I think the positive thing here, Tyson, is Jamar Chase, 14 catches, 165 yards. T. Higgins, 3 for 56. So he's still the big play guy with the touchdown and 18.7. But how does this look after some preparation? We'll see about that.
Yeah, and it's tons of implications for everybody all around. Bettors, fantasy football players, all of you. Everybody who likes watching football, this sucks.
And I think what gets lost in this, too, is the Jags lost the game. That you just can't lose.
Dude, and Liam Cohen is who to us in his first 2 weeks?
Who do you have on your mind?
I don't know, but I'm not used to seeing a quarterback shrug off his head coach with a hand gesture when the coach is trying to tell him what to do in his second week. I mean, that was I'm not a Trevor Lawrence guy. Travis Hunter looked lazy. I think there's some other things there, but
and your boy BTJ, God, I mean, holy smokes.
Him as well. Travis Etienne is the most consistent performer on the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is not where we thought we were going to be.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. And again, it's 2 weeks, but we'll figure it out. Trevor won 2 picks again, man. His QBR is 34.7. This against a Bengals defense that, yes, they looked better against the Browns, but that's the Browns. And maybe we're going to look at this Bengals defense like, okay, they're at least ball hawks, or they're able to have the turnovers because they had 2 picks against Joe Flacco the week prior. But come on, man. You're supposed to be the guy. And once again, we're left with more questions than answers. The Jags in the game where Joe Burrow left injured, lose, and they're 1-1 on the season, had a great opportunity to go up 2-0 and couldn't do it. So we'll figure it out from there for the Jags. But the main story is that Joe Burrow out again, got to get surgery on his toe. The main one coming out this week too, Tyson, the Chiefs have lost their 3rd game in a row when you count the Super Bowl and the 2 games. And this one, they lose to the Eagles in an ugly game that was 20-17. I mean, my goodness, yes, defensive battle, but the offenses could not get going. What's your takeaway from this one as you look at this from a macro or maybe you dive in a little bit further into this game?
That winning 1-score games is the most volatile thing in sports, probably. Year over year. Remember last year they didn't lose any of these 1-score games. They came out on top every time, and it was like Kansas City's going to take you into deep waters, and then they're going to drown you. And then that wasn't the case yesterday. And Travis Kelce bobbling the ball, it turns into an interception. It's part of the reason for that. But those bounces went their way a year ago, and they've gone their way a bunch over the last 6 or 7 seasons. Are the Kansas City Chiefs cooked? I'm not going to say that. Rashee Rice is going to come back. Xavier Worthy is going to come back. The team just needs to win games, which we haven't seen them do in 2025. But if they can just stay afloat, is anybody going to talk themselves into Kansas City's the 3rd or 4th best team in the AFC? Because once the playoffs come around and if this defense is looking good and all that stuff, I think we're going to say or sing a different tune. But the main takeaway was just that sometimes the ball bounces the other direction.
This is not a good offensive performance from the Chiefs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, your leading rusher, 7 carries, 66 yards, and that's all on scrambles and things like that. Kareem Hunt in the second half getting 8 carries, and Pacheco getting 10. He has not looked the same since he broke his leg. And the problem is, as a society, when we look at sports, the technology is just so great, or the medicine is so advanced now. So when these guys have serious injuries, I'm talking ACL tears or broken legs or whatever we want to do, Achilles stuff, they'll come back in 12 months. And it's the guy's leg broke in half, that is tough. And especially when you're playing a contact sport like this, he doesn't look the same. He doesn't have the same burst. Now, Andy Reid's he's kind of back to where he was previously. I haven't seen that through 2 weeks. Now, we'll see going forward. Yeah, maybe he's still rusty. He's got to knock that off. But the fact that he's getting 10 carries and Kareem Hunt's getting 8 at this stage of his career is not a good sign going forward. And we'll see what it looks like with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy when they come back. But Travis Kelce, 4 catches, 61 yards, had the long of 23. The drop, that was the biggest thing in the game that he's caught his entire career. Tyquan Thornton had the bomb, the 49 yards, but everything else is short. Hollywood Brown, little out route. Juju Smith-Schuster can't get open. This offense is not good right now. And I think that's the concern for Kansas City. You take Tyreek Hill away and they had success. You win the 2 Super Bowls, go to 3. But this offense has been grind. And it's gotten to the point, Tyson, where if you play the too high shell, they just can't do enough to win games anymore. And that's coming off 3 Super Bowl appearances. But like you said, the bounces have all gone their way. And at some point, the variance comes back to haunt them. And we could be seeing that with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and you would think that a counterpunch would have emerged. And look, they did win a bunch of games a year ago, and they did play in the Super Bowl. But we're just talking about what's happened in the first 2 games here. This is a trend over 3 years with the cover 2. This is how everybody's going to play them. And there just doesn't seem to be a reliable counter right now, and they can't run the football. And that's a really tough place to be, whether you have Patrick Mahomes or apparently Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. That's we'll dive into this, but we do Tyson, so we're going to dive more into that. And this is just a broad perspective that we like to talk about on I Said What I Said, where we take a look at the entire NFL. The Eagles' offense is concerning, though. I mean, you look at Hurts. Yes, another high completion percentage, 15-22, but a $101, 4.6 on completions. A.J. Brown has 5 catches for 27 yards on 8 targets. His average was 5.4, and that's a big play guy. Devontae Smith got over the 50-yard mark, but that's because a prayer that was thrown down in a one-on-one situation, he was able to corral it. Other than that, there's no explosion. You don't have your number one tight end in Dallas Goedert, but Jahan Dotson gets one little swing catch after he was explosively used in the passing game last week, and everything just feels so condensed and collapsed. And I am curious if this is just, hey, we're kind of worked through some kinks. Spagnuolo had a way to play Jalen Hurts. Hurts has normally torn up this defense. We're going to throw something completely different. And that was something that Brady was talking about a lot in the broadcast. But this is 2 weeks in a row where you're looking at things like, that doesn't look good.
No, and I think 2023 is still on the mind of a lot of people, but it's closer to feeling like that at this moment. Maybe AJ Brown you're 4 yards outside the numbers. You're going 5 yards upfield and running an in-breaking route. Like he ran 10 of them yesterday. He just basically put him in the same spot on the field, have him run the same route. That's a tough place to be. That's a tough place for this offense to be. But they won the game, and so we're not going to sit here and do too much complaining. But I think. When some other teams in the NFC put up 50, it becomes a little bit more concerning.
Yeah, for sure. And then the tush push thing that everybody's crying about. First of all, Dean Blandino, come on, man. I mean, that was ridiculous. He doesn't do
anything anyway. So for him to be like, oh, I'm done talking about this. It's like, you don't tell us anything anyways about what's going on. You are so non-committal to make a call no matter what. The first one they scored on. So like, there's just too much why is it the most popular play in the world? Like, why is it the only thing people can talk about, I guess?
Well, here's the thing. Call the flags. Like, you're the refs. Like, everybody's like, the Eagles. Like, it's not the Eagles' job to police themselves. Like, they're trying to get advantage just like everybody else is. So if they're leaving early, you know whose job it is to freaking call that? It's the officials. Throw the flag and say false start, just like every other play. Like, I don't understand this. It's just insane to me that people are crying about it once again when it's the freaking guys' jobs who get paid, by the way, to officiate these games who aren't calling it. Oh, it's driving me nuts. Jesus. Let's get into J.J. McCarthy because he's got an injury now coming out of this. Normally, Tyson and I, normally we record this again on Sundays. That's the aim going forward. But this is big news coming out of Sunday Night Football that we had to discuss. And one, J.J. McCarthy did not look good against the Falcons in this one. I mean, 11-21, 2 picks. I think we kind of jumped to the shark a little, or not jumped the shark, or overreacted to a terrible Chicago Bears defense and what he did down the stretch against that team, and try to apply it to this one. Who the Falcons again with Raheem Morris, Tyson, defense starting to figure it out. They got after the passer. They find they're getting sacks. Like, what's going on there in the dirty South in Atlanta? I mean, that was like good, but this was not a good offensive performance by the Vikings, to say the least.
No, I think part of the reason we were so eager to be like, look at how resilient J.J. McCarthy was. Prime time in week 1 with Kevin O'Connell, who everybody loves. After we just watched what he did with Sam Darnold, and it was like, oh, it took J.J. McCarthy 3 quarters to figure it out, but watch out. Now he has 1 good quarter played in 8 career quarters, and now he's injured again. So he's going to miss his 18th game in his first 21, games that he's been eligible to play in since he's been signed. We know he missed all of last year, but like at a certain point, like you can't. We just did this with Burrow. It's like this dude's not on the field either. And then the 2 times we've seen him, he's been ass outside of 1 quarter. And look, he's a rookie essentially, and he's going to be just fine probably in the league. But this was really tough pill to swallow. Atlanta hasn't gotten home on a passer, since like Vic Beasley. And now the floodgates are open. They get 6 or whatever of these things. And he's running into some of them. It was tough, man.
2 to 4 weeks with an ankle injury. That's the projection right now as we're recording. Carson Wentz is the backup. We'll see what happens with that.
Kill it, by the way.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Justin Jefferson will have more than 3 catches and TJ Hockenson will have more than 1 catch. That's the other thing, too. How are you not getting this guy the ball, man? I mean, they finally did it before the half, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Justin Jefferson's on this team, and he can torch any secondary. And it was like, you know what we're not going to do is throw him the rock in the second half. Like, it was shocking. Here's the thing about McCarthy, too, Tyson. Look at his spray chart. It's all to the right side of the field, and that's something that people talked about when he was at Michigan. And if you think that that's something that the college coaches can notice, figure out, these defensive coordinators are going to eat this dude up. I mean, if you can't throw the left side of the field and you're just looking at your arm side and you're purposely on your end eliminating half the field, that is not a good sign going forward. Now, we'll see if that can change. He's got 2 to 4 weeks to figure it out, do his mental side of the thing. But these 2 games, I'm throwing out what we saw in the fourth quarter. I know that's unfair because it happened, but the Bears' defense is atrocious.
Yes, that's true.
This guy, we'll see. I mean, the arm doesn't pop. I don't know. I don't want to make an early assessment. You can't go
too far the other way. We got to get firmly back on the line because we can't anoint him and then say he's trash. We're apologizing for overreacting.
We didn't overreact though. All the idiot fans did, and the idiot media who wants this guy to be the next Tom Brady. It's like, hey, all these fluff pieces. Don't give up. I'm like, dude, that's kind of like awkward. Like, you think the offensive line were looking at him like, dude, can you like get out of our face? And then of course, Sunday Night Football is going over to him after he has another horrible drive. And he's like high-fiving the line. It's like, yo, this kid's got to figure out this is the pros.
You're saying
this isn't Remember the Titans rah-rah football.
It's getting close to Russell Wilson territory is what you're saying?
I don't want to go that far.
You just did maybe. And Aaron Jones out next week as well. It wasn't a huge factor, but another injury there for the Vikings. It's going to be tough sledding. I am fully prepared for Carson Wentz to come out here and throw for 300 yards.
Yeah, well, the Falcons on the flip side, Tyson, what the hell was that red zone attack? God, guys. Michael Penix, he's going to get away with this, but woof. There's some accurate stuff there, but, I mean, just any threat in the red zone at all from a passing perspective. It was crazy to me.
It's been like that for years. Like, it feels like no matter who's playing quarterback, who's coaching for the Atlanta Falcons, they've had a tough time punching it in. I said in the pre-show, like, Michael Penix doesn't get sacked. He took a couple last night. One of them he got hit hard, but I think the things that people loved about him at Indiana and then Washington, especially like if you listen to things we've said about him, it was on full display yesterday, and he had some misses. He didn't look great, but that was also his 5th career game. He went on the road and won in a primetime spot comfortably, and a lot of that was due to the fact that Bijan Robinson looks like the guy that we were promised coming out of Texas. He was awesome yesterday. This offense has tons of stuff to clean up, but the ball is out quick. He knows where he's going with the football. He's running a professional scheme to the point where, they had 5 field goals, but you turn a couple of those into touchdowns, and in a couple of years, we might be talking about the Atlanta Falcons as a real contender.
I agree, especially because it looked like he was poised and everything. And also the Bijan, it's Bijan. Did you hear him say that on Sunday Night Football now?
That made me mad. Like, what? I watched him. I didn't actually make me mad, but I was like,
I was pissed.
Can we go back?
We're going back. He said it 3 times on the take, so it's Bijan Robinson.
He looked annoyed by that third one. And also, shout out Parker Romo. Showing up off the street, basically 5 field goals. That was all-time good in the post-game interview there when he had to get introduced to his teammates.
I know Bijan, too.
I know Bijan.
Yeah, that's incredible. All right, last one here before we get into the leftovers. Daniel Jones is in the midst of a resurgence. And Shane Steichen's doing wonderful. And Tyson and I are mainly including this because we got to pat ourselves on the back because we said everybody's freaking out and crying. You can't give up on Anthony Richardson. It's unfair. It's like, guys, you want to win football games? Because Shane Steichen does, or else he's going to be fired because they have a new owner and he's got to win football games. So you know who gives him the best chance to win? Daniel Jones does. And we have seen this. And he just dismantled the Broncos defense. Now, I think we could maybe say it's not as good as it was last year, but there's guys open. He's ripping them apart. He's got 588 yards, which is second in the NFL through 2 weeks, 2 touchdowns, which, you want that to improve. But Tyson, his QBR is 78. He hasn't made a mistake. He looks like a completely different player.
Sustainable or not?
Yes, because of this offense.
Okay. Because of the way the offense is schemed, or you like – because Tyler Warren looks like, the guy that people thought they were going to get out of Penn State. He looks awesome. Pittman Jr. looks, as good as he's looked in a while. The whole offense as a whole, and then Jonathan Taylor he's back to normal. So is it the guys or the scheme?
It's both. It's the guys and the scheme. I mean, they've invested resources into these weapons, Tyson. And you mentioned Pittman. He's an afterthought compared to some of this other stuff. I mean, Josh Downs, 6 catches, 51 yards.
He got shut out in week 1, which is that's encouraging to see. I think if you're a Colts fan, that that wasn't going to be all season long. That's just what the game called for. And we scored 40, by the way. And then this week we need to throw him the ball. We're going to score 30.
Yeah, impressive. I mean, Alec Pierce, too, off the milk carton, 4 catches, 68. And then you mentioned Tyler Warren, 4 for 79. Probably should have gotten into the end zone. I mean, come on, Steichen, help the Penn State brand out here. But here's the most encouraging thing. Here's why it's sustainable. Jonathan Taylor carried the ball 25 times for 165 yards, 6.6 a pop against a defense that was really good last year. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get that the entire season from Taylor. You hope he stays healthy. But anytime you have a running game like that, I mean, you're in for a treat from a quarterback perspective.
Think about how much better this running game would be if you had a 6'5", 260-pound guy that ran a 4.4 under center, Brad.
I know, that's what everybody wants. But the passing game would not look as good, I'll tell you that much. Let's move into the leftovers here where we do some quick hitters on some of the rest of the games. The Packers continue to look great. This is on Thursday Night Football, beating the Commanders 27-18. I didn't even think it was that close. I mean, the Commanders come back, some garbage time stuff, classic Commander stuff, if you ask me. But it seems like Jaden Daniels' knee injury might have to miss a game. That's something we'll keep an eye on. But Packers, Tyson, the defense is sick. The running game, strong. Yes, Jaden Reed gets hurt, but Christian Watson's going to come back. I think it's going to take this offense to even another next level when he returns. The Packers look damn good.
Matthew Golden's open all the time, and I think that's concerning for the rest of us.
We'll see what happens with him. I mean, he's used more in the run game than anything, but we'll see what – I mean, a lot of the things with him are like, can he run routes at the NFL level?
He's open all the time, and that's pretty encouraging. JD5 needs to stop getting hit as much too. Like we had this with these other quarterbacks off the top, and that was a concern coming out of LSU. It's also part of the magic, with this guy. I mean, 4th down last year, it was 4th and Jaden, and he's going to run the ball. They're going to get the first down, and everything's groovy. But he keeps getting hit, dude. He got hit like 20 times in this game, and you're not going to play the Packers every week, but he's supposed to last 15 years for this franchise. You got to invest carefully.
Speaking of an NFC East. Cowboys Giants 40-37 in overtime. Insane shootout. I mean, this was one of the most fun games that I've seen. And yes, it's a funny because it's a laughing stock between the Cowboys and the Giants. But I mean, this was awesome just to watch. I mean, Russ Wilson 30-41 for 450 and 3 TDs, and he had that brain dead pick at the end. It was like, no, Russ, how are you doing this to yourself? But this thing was nuts, man.
Did he buy – how many more weeks does Russell Wilson buy himself with a 450-yard day?
At least 2.
Okay. That's all you think they've all just chomping at the bit now? I mean, the Cowboys defense didn't look as good as everyone thought it did after week 1. No. Maybe that says something.
Well, it's funny because it was 13-10 at half. And we're like, well, these offenses suck. And then the Giants scored 21 in the 4th, and the Cowboys scored 20. Like 41 points in the 4th quarter, dude. It was crazy.
Everybody got involved too. Like Scattaboo's in the end zone, Wan'Dale Robinson with 175, and they lose the game and burying the lead, dude. When we were growing up, a 64-yarder to win the game, not even on the table. There's maybe the Raiders would have tried it with Seabass and he would have missed it 65 feet to the left or the right, dude. And now it's of course he's gonna make it.
Brandon Aubrey's the best kicker I've ever seen. And that includes Justin Tucker.
And I don't even think I'm sick of pretending it's close, dude. This guy he's automatic from 50 plus in a way that nobody ever has been.
He's so good.
I hope he breaks the number 6.
I want him to break the record and do it in a fashion nobody he's awesome. And the fact that he was a pro MLS player too before is even better.
He might have to watch out because Cam Little in Jacksonville hitting 70 in the preseason at sea level. I think that whatever record you get, that kid's gunning for it, dude.
So we had Brady versus Manning. Can we get Aubrey versus Little in the kicking battle?
just the Cowboys and Jaguars, the least aligned franchise. They're gonna play once a decade. These guys probably never meet each other.
But they're gonna be it's like old school rivalry, you never play them, but you see the newspaper clippings.
They're talking shit in the press, dude. It's just Cam Little.
Oh, that was an awesome game. So we'll see what happens for both those teams going forward. I think you take away Giants offense looks better than we thought, especially after a terrible Commanders game. And the Cowboys defense, still putrid, but the offense looks really good under Schottenheimer. So that's something to file away as you go forward. Tyson, Lions destroyed the Bears 52-21. Jared Goff back to his old self, 23-28, 334, 5 tuds. Amon-Ra with 3 of them. Jahmyr Gibbs back to dominating on the ground. I like Dennis Allen as a defensive coordinator. he got his ass handed to him, man. This it's not like the Bears don't have talent, right? But holy smokes, did they get their ass beat?
No, it was kind of like, hey, we know what defense you're running, like pretty much the whole game, and we're going to take advantage of that, and then you're not going to adjust to us doing this over and over. Isaac Tesla, the greatest first 2 catches in the history of the NFL?
It got to be.
It has to be, dude. Like, he's used 2 hands combined to make his first 2 catches, 1 for a touch, and then he just pops up right away with the first down there. They might have another one.
So the Caleb Williams thing is going around, and of course, anything that he does that's poor is going to get clipped. And that interception was like, come on, like you can't make that play. I thought Caleb Williams was actually good in this game. I mean, the QBR is not looking good, 43.7, all that stuff. The guy's just running for his life. It's nuts. But that arm, when it's accurate and he's just letting that thing eat and he's not thinking, you can see why he was the number 1 pick. I mean, the talent is there. And I think Rome Odunze now, Tyson, is the number 1 wide receiver. I mean, DJ Moore, you've long been a DJ Moore guy, but, Rome Odunze looks really, really good so far.
I mean, I've been a Rome guy for the whole time, too, like since UW. So it's a conflicting, for my inner self. But, yeah, dude, Rome Odunze, this was always going to happen. I was, like, sick to my stomach last year with everybody talking about all the great stuff he's going to do. And it's like, you're going to bury the dude that is – I mean, what did Matt Harmon, reception perception? He's all green. He was the first prospect in the history of his charting to be all green for routes, like positive win percentage at every level on every route combination. Then he goes in the top 10, and now people are going to be like, oh, I didn't know he was going to beat out DJ Moore. This is always going to happen.
Yeah, no, he looks really good. Rams beat the Titans 33-19. Not a big surprise here. I mean, this was a little bit closer, I think, than people thought, but the Rams just have too much talent. You can see the Titans still have some stuff to go, but Cam Ward made a throw, and that's ill-advised. Of course, people are clipping it, and they're like, unbelievable.
Throw of the year, though, dude.
Wow, what a play.
It was on the money. Yeah, that was awesome. Blake Corum scored a touchdown. That's the takeaway here.
And Kyron Williams didn't, which I'm like, did he, is he in the doghouse? I was shocked about that. They had, 4 trips into the red zone, and he didn't get a touch. I'm like, what is going on, McVay?
If Sean McVay takes away, everybody's favorite parlay leg, we're going to have some problems.
I know. That was shocking. So Rams take care of business. They're 2-0. That's important for them. And we'll get into the 49ers Saints here now because, they go on the road with Mac Jones as the QB, 26-39 for 279, 3 tuds for old Mac Jones. But they only beat the Saints 26-21, man. And I get people are banged up and stuff, but, yes, the Niners are 2-0, 2-0 away from home with a win over the Seahawks. It just feels like something's just not there for the Niners. Like, what did you take away from this?
Yeah, I think that's accurate. It's also was pretty funny that Mac Jones comes out here. He's 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, basically. Just the way things work in the NFL anymore. But, yeah, I think you're still hoping for a big step forward for Ricky Pearsall that hasn't necessarily materialized yet if you're this 49ers offense. And then the defense has so many new guys on it that it's hard to sit here and make any judgments. Maybe the Saints will be a little bit better than we thought just based off the first couple of weeks that they've put together. It's the NFL, dude. We talk all offseason. It's like, this team's losing by 40 every week, and then all the games are close, and that's just how it goes. But maybe Rattlers get something figured out there. I'm not concerned about the 49. We knew what this was mostly going to look like.
Yeah, and I mean, Rattler actually good. 3 touchdowns, didn't have a pick, 209 yards, was getting to different guys. Olave was involved. So I think that's encouraging from a Saints perspective. But, yeah, I mean, you thought the 49ers were going to start 2-0 because you had them to beat the Seahawks, and I think everybody thought they were going to beat the Saints, and they did that. So, you check out the box. Can you do it with Mac Jones going forward? That's something you got to figure out. But the positive sign here, Tyson, is that at least Shanahan has shown that he's able to have a backup quarterback he can win with. Because before, when it was the starter was out, it was like, yeah, this thing's off the rails.
Oh, CJ Beathard. Yeah, there was so many that we ran through there that sucked. But now it's like they turned him out. And, hey, maybe that guy should have a starting job again.
Yeah, we'll see. That's going to be funny, the conversation here. But let's talk about Mac Jones' old team, the Patriots. They beat the Dolphins 33-27. Now, the offense looked a little bit better for the Dolphins, but this operation is so bad, and I'm standing 10 toes down. I guess that's what the kids are saying nowadays with the Mike McDaniel getting fired thing. Did you see his press conference? Like, not a care in the world. They just lost. I'm like, brother, this is a bad look.
I don't think he wanted to be there. It was almost like in Ted Lasso, like as Ted's kind of having a panic attack or something. I'm not trying to put that on McDaniel, but how he's just like not listening to the questions. It was like, is this dude paying attention to what is being asked of him right now? He's just like sitting up there groaning, basically. Oof. The entire offense is Achane. That's where we're at, and they can't run the ball at the middle, so they have to scheme him targets. And he's their best player, and that makes sense. They scored 27 points, but they're going to lose all these. Like, that's just the way that this is going to go for them. They can't stop anybody. Back-to-back punt return touchdown into kickoff return touchdown is one of the coolest things that can happen in an NFL game, so that was awesome. But took away a little bit, I think, of the fact that, like, the Patriots – maybe have a bigger discussion on it. But everyone was ready to be like, it's Travion Henderson only. And then Ramondre Stevenson comes out with 150 yards. And it's like, oh, maybe, he's not done and he's not cooked. And that's encouraging too. Like, I don't like when we do this early in the year. Like, Drake May's a young quarterback. The Patriots have a whole new operation themselves. And they just won their first game of the year. That's just as big of a story to me, I think, as like the disaster in Miami that we already knew was going on. Your week 4 or 5 thing feels probably a little stronger now than it did a week ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Drake May looked good, right? That's the takeaway. 19 and 23, 230. I mean, 10 yards of completion. QBR, 77.6, no interceptions. Is this sustainable is the question, right? We know the weapons are lacking. So Ramondre Stevenson, leading target getter combined with Stephon Diggs. I mean, he has 5 catches for 88 yards. If that's what you're going to get your passing attack, that's concerning, especially because Austin Hooper is your next leading receiver, the tight end, 3 for 38. I mean, Hunter Henry, this guy's either unbelievable or he's on the milk carton. Like, you never know what you're getting each week. He only has 1 catch for 9 yards. And it's just going down the list. It's like, can anybody just like get open for Drake May? And that's what you got to figure out. But the fact that he's doing this with his weapons, 19 to 23, I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's like going to go under the radar here, as the headlines are always going to be about the other quarterbacks in that class. And he has a chance to put together a pretty good season before people notice.
The Bills beat the Jets 30-10. I mean, Josh Allen didn't even play well. He 14 to 25, 148, no touchdowns. He broke his nose. And so, like, he wasn't even – I mean, 6 carries, 59 yards, whatever. The fact that they scored 30 points, Tyson, with that, it's because – I'm going to say this right now. I said Justin Fields looked good against the Steelers. Justin Fields is the worst quarterback in the NFL. Like, 3 for 11 for 27 yards. They said he completed his second pass with 50 seconds left in the first half. Tyson, I almost fell on the floor. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I immediately pulled up the stats. I was like, oh, my God. This guy's the worst. And he's like running 2-minute drill, 3 missed throws. And I thought the announcers, I forget who it was, they were trying to be nice about it, but like, you just can't miss these throws. I mean, wide open, 5 yards down the field, middle of the field, like a pitch play. Misses him behind him, like behind his shoulder. I'm like, what the hell? It looks good. 5 carries, 49 yards. He had that big long run. Oh, he's just so athletic. This guy stinks. He can't play in the NFL. And Tyrod Taylor comes in, and the offense actually looks like it can run a system. So I don't know how many more times we're going to try to see the Justin Fields stuff, but it's not going to work.
Why are you surprised?
I'm not. I was surprised that it was that bad at this stage of his career. Tyson, holy smokes.
He's never shown us anything other than this. Like, a week
fair.
ago, he was good, and then it's like, oh, maybe he's figured it all out. Or maybe the previous 35 times are a pretty good indicator of like who he is. Justin Fields is who Justin Fields is, and that's fine. And the Bills are who the Bills are, because they're going. This is where we're at with the Buffalo Bills. They can look like this and win a game by 20 points.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive. And it was like sleepy to start. Well, no, that's not true. But it just felt like they came off a crazy one against the Ravens. We're like, we're just better than this team. We're gonna go through the motions, and they just smoked them. But the Fields thing, you're right. Honestly, I'm going to say this. You guys see this over here, the Penn State fight. If he would have gone to Penn State, I think he would have been a better NFL player instead of going to Ohio State, where you can't develop QBs, right? Is that what we're doing here?
Well, yeah, that's true, because there's a lot of really good Penn State guys in the league right now.
Well, we just need our next guy, because remember, Kerry Collins. Come on now, that's who we're banking on. That's our guy.
Oh man, dude, that's
let's keep it rolling. No more than my nonsense. The Seahawks go on the road and win 31-17 over the Steelers.
Right. So last week it was like, oh, maybe we were right about Zach Charbonnet taking over for Ken Walker. And then Sharp gets the ball 15 times for 10 yards this week. Horrible. And Ken Walker looks like the best running back in the NFL, or at least the home run hitter that we know him to be. Is this what we're going to get out of Seattle? It's just a level of unpredictability every week as to who is showing up. Because if they look like this team is going to make me look silly probably with my 5 or 6 wins here. But if they look like they did in week 1, like 2 games, 2 samples that we have from this team, 2 wildly different results. Sam Darnold looked like a wildly different quarterback. The offense looked different. The defense is, What do we have in Seattle?
I don't know. In your question about the Charbonnet Walker thing, I think this is what we're going to get going forward with the splits. Like Walker is going to get 15 carries, Charbonnet is going to get 15 carries, and maybe that changes down the line. But everybody wants like, oh, Walker should be getting this. Like, look, oh my God, they finally gave him the ball. It's like, did you not watch last week? He was the worst running back. So if you're the coach and you're in the practice, you're like, well, that guy was worse than this guy last week. So you know what we're going to do? Probably give the ball the better guy the ball this week. And people are like, well, my fantasy projections. It's like, guys, like freaking grow up and actually watch what's going on. Like Quinn Walker, yes, he had a great game this week. Can he sustain it? Because he hasn't been able to do that for his career. It's a new coaching staff, and they're getting a look at both guys. And they're going to say, all right, who's better this week? I think we're going to get 50-50 split until somebody emerges, whether it's Walker, whether it's Charbonnet. I think you'd prefer it to be Walker because he has the higher ceiling. But we don't know because we haven't seen him do it consistently. So that's my thought on that. Now, most positive thing for me is, yes, Sam Darnold looked way different, except for the 2 picks. Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp were the 1-2 punch that people thought. 8 catches, 103 for Smith and Jigba. Cooper Kupp, 7 for 90. I mean, he was a ghost in week 1. And, yes, you can point to maybe Salah taking him out of the game. And the Niners doing a good job on that. But, there's some concern that maybe he was washed, right? Like Cooper Kupp, the Rams let him go. This, to me, is a great positive sign because you need another weapon besides Smith and Jigba. But if one of those guys gets taken out, I mean, Torrey Horton, Elijah Arroyo, A.J. Barner, the tight end, like this is not a group of weapons that you can bank on.
First of all, have some respect for Torrey Horton. As a guy that I know stays up late to watch West Coast college football, I cannot believe that you would come on here and say something like that about Torrey Horton. Jackson Smith and Jigba was going to lead the league in catches. That's probably my takeaway.
Yeah, I think so. What did you get from the Steelers in this one? I mean, Rodgers had the great game against the Jets, but he comes back to earth.
Does this defense suck?
Yeah.
And could we say, is that okay to say, or are we going to get canceled? Like this defense sucks. TJ Watt hasn't had a sack in 6 games. Like this defense sucks. If he's not getting home, this defense sucks.
And Cam Hayward, it's not the same run stopper as he was, and you can't blame him for that. He's old, But it's like, come on, Steelers. You're supposed to be this great developing organization. You got to see it because the secondary hasn't been good. You haven't been able to have a good cornerback in a decade at this point now. I mean, you hope it's Joey Porter Jr., but there was always some concerns if he's not playing this certain system. And it just, what are we going to get? So a Jaylen Warren thing too, Tyson. 14 carries, 48 yards. I know the Seahawks are at least formidable up front, but the whole this guy's going to be Barry Sanders if they actually give him the rock was always laughable.
That's a joke, dude. But Caleb Johnson doesn't get to play, which is also was always going to happen.
Well,
that's true. He doesn't get to play. Yeah.
And the kickoff return, which I think maybe he's probably not because he hit him in the helmet and he didn't run back and get it. And he just gave the Seahawks 7 free points. So it
might be time to press the panic button. And Arthur Smith's going to get to that kid.
Last 2, well, this is a quick one. Ravens won 41-17 over the Browns. They were sleepy. I was concerned about my first half bet. They tried to give it away, and then they just cranked the screws in the second half and destroyed the Browns because that's what it is. I didn't get anything out of this besides the Ravens. It was just one of those weeks where they decide okay, we're not going to run Derrick Henry for some reason, whatever. My biggest takeaway was that Quinton Judkins had some juice, man. 10 carries, 61 yards. Keep an eye on that going forward.
And the fact that, he got signed a week ago and we were told probably wasn't going to play. And then it was he's going to be on a snap count. And then it was okay, Jerome Ford, your services probably aren't going to be needed here much going forward. Sampson will handle the pass work. Judkins has the rushing work. That's what they wanted out of the draft. So win there for the Browns, loss dramatically on the field. And this was no brainer, dude.
So we got into a bunch of stuff here. We're going to close with Panthers-Cardinals because this was the most Panthers-Cardinals game that I can remember, right? Because the Cardinals come out like gangbusters and the Panthers look terrible. But like we've seen with the Cardinals, they can't put anybody away because they just can't do it, right? I don't know if it's the Kyler Murray thing. He has insane plays. You're like, oh my God, he's unbelievable. And then he has plays like, what are you doing? Like the insane run, one play later, the most ill-advised, like throw the ball away. You're in field goal range. You're up 18 or whatever you were at the time. Like this thing's over. And he throws the pick. And on the flip side, the Panthers, Tyson, Bryce Young looks like he can't play. And then it's like, dude, this guy is unbelievable. Like I don't know people, nobody watched, everybody's gonna look at the end of the stuff and like, oh, he sucks. He was making throws in that in front of that terrible offensive line. It was like
so bad.
What are we watching here? Like it looked unbelievable. And I'm like, this game is for me because I get the good of the Kyler Murray, that I'm like, yes, and I get the bad of Kyler Murray. I'm like, yes, because I'm still torn on him. And I'm getting the bad of Bryce Young where I'm like, oh, I'm depressed. And I'm getting stuff like nobody understands how good this kid is. What an insane game.
Is Xavier Liggett the next, like, in this every year? There's a first round wide receiver that sucks. Treylon Burks before him. Is X-Man next up?
Yeah.
Set a record.
Targets, Tyson.
8 NFL record for least amount of yards on 8 targets and -2.
Hold on. -2, guys. On 8 targets. What?
Threw the ball at him 8 times. He returned the favor with -2 yards. This is, it's Tedero McMillan. I was going to make a joke there or a pun that probably wasn't radio friendly, but look, dude, that's what it is going forward for this team. And then Arizona, we were saying maybe a sneaky bet to win the NFC West, and they're keeping pace. They're not the pace car, which we thought might happen after the first 6 weeks, but in order to be the pace car through a third, Brad, you got to start 2-0.
Yeah, for sure. I think the concern that I'm looking at both sides, it really is kind of a tale of two tapes. Chuba Hubbard, 10 carries, 38 yards. I mean, you're down, so you're not running the rock a ton, but again, no running game. Rico Dowdle, 6 for 9. It's like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't have. I don't know. It's just bad. On the flip, James Conner, this was a defense in Carolina that got ripped apart last year on the ground. 11 carries, 34 yards. They stifled him. And it's like, well, Trey Benson, he's the lightning to the thunder of James Conner. 3 carries, 14 yards. Okay, 4.7 is a little bit better, but I thought the Panthers looked much improved in the ground game. There are times though, like guys are running wide open in the field. Trey McBride 6 for 78, just shredding them up. But you take Marvin Harrison out of the game, that's a good sign.
I mean, yeah, that also might just be who he is.
Oof. 5 targets, 2 catches.
Well, I mean, he might be the guy that shows up one week and then doesn't show up. He might be closer to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
That's interesting because Tedero McMillan on their side, you look at him and you're like, okay, this guy just looks different.
He's getting the ball, or he's gonna get 10 targets a game this season. He might lead the league in catches too, but he's so far behind Pace right now. 6 on 10. I think here's the other thing too. Hunter Renfrow is going to be way more involved. He got 2 touchdowns. He's just so good. Jalen Coker comes back, like this might all of a sudden be a group with like we got our 6'5" giant. We got 2 guys to work out a slot, and then we've got 15 different tight ends that we've tried to hit on the most athletic one over the years.
And down the stretch, I thought Dave Canales made a mistake. Like Bryce Young was doing so good improvising and getting out of the pocket, and then when they needed to score the touchdown, he just had him stationary. And like all everybody knows that you're passing the ball, and this offensive line can't hold up. Like, why are you having him try to throw over a collapsing pocket? It was driving me insane. Like, get the kid rolling out. At least give a threat of, like, he's going to get outside the pocket. But Tyson, this game was nuts. I mean, I want to go back and watch again. I mean, Bryce Young, some of those throws were nuts.
And that's why we appreciate everyone staying for the full 45 minutes, because that is, like, that's peak Brad. What you just got, like he's reliving the moment in front of you all.
Oh man, that was good stuff. But all right, like Tyson said, let's get out of here. You know, these will get shorter as the season goes along. But I mean, a lot of stuff coming out, and especially everybody's excited because it's the first couple weeks of the NFL season. At least we are for sure. And we had a lot of views last week, and so I think you guys are as well. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, and share the show. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button on the way out. If you're watching in pod or listening in podcast form, 5 stars if you haven't already. And again, we're got you covered with a ton of content. So subscribe so you don't miss a single thing. Share it with a friend, share it with an enemy, a coworker, your sister, your brother, your coworker's sister, your coworker's brother. I don't know how you guys operate, but we appreciate all the support you guys have given us so far. We'll talk to you guys when we talk to you. Till then, peace.